All right, thanks once again for tuning into your number one online channel, Kisii FM Digital. My name is Bevan Omari, and today we have come here at Kisii Stadium, whereby the agricultural show Kenya, the South Kenya branch, is being conducted, which will kick off tomorrow. That is on Thursday, 6th of July, and we've decided to pay a visit to some companies, to some people who have already put their equipment in place, and just making sure that the show runs smoothly. And here we are with the KTDA team. We have the chairman here. We'll have some interview. Maybe the chairman will take us through the entire process of the tea leaves at the extent of we having now the final product. Welcome once again. Maybe you can start with your name, the position in which you are, the KTDA, then we can proceed.
Thank you very much. My name is Peterson Arao, Factory Unit Manager Ogembo, which is one of the factories showcasing here what we do at in the field, among other factories. In total, this is Nyamira, Kisii factories. There are 14 in number, and we've come here to show the farmers and the whole world what we do in the field, in line with this year's show theme, promoting climate smart initiatives in order to improve the sustainability of this agriculture and growth. So from the field, we have quite a number of items that we've done. First, from the nursery level, where we use environment-friendly, biodegradable materials, so that which are friendly to the environment. We don't pollute the environment. Two, that they can be used for many times. We also have the UV net, which also ensures that we take shorter time at the nursery. From there, we also have other areas. After you get the tea from the nursery, we have machines which we use to do hulling. Traditionally, people used to take a long time to do the same work, but now we have machines which do hulling, and we've also reduced even the sizing so that a small area can hold quite a number of pushes, from 5 by 2.5 to 4 by 2.5, which ensures that we have high density within a small space to increase productivity for the farmers. From there, even when you are planted, there's bringing tea into pairing. We used to use the bags, which means we would go to the environment. We've come with ways where you don't even stress the push by using the bags. We don't actually use even bags. We have come with the new technologies to ensure we conserve the environment. We leave the tree standing so that it can give us the oxygen and also save our environment. From there, we also have quite a number of cultivars to ensure that they are stable in terms of disease resistance and drought resistance. And we encourage our farmers to use many types of these cultivars so that even if it was drought, you don't lose all your crop, or it was a disease, pest controls, you don't lose all that. So we mix them. Further now, when we start plucking the leaf, because of challenges in plucking labor, we've given an alternative where you can use shears, which you use to pluck more, unlike when you do under-plucking, which you can only use we get about that 5 kilos. With the machine plucking, you can do 200. You can imagine those people who have challenges are able to get the assistance. Sometimes people ask how you can maintain the 2 leaves with the shears. Once you condition the leaf, the bush, you are able to get the 2 leaves comfortably after 7 days. Then you are able to maintain both the quality and the quantity. Then in the field, we want to say all those factories, because we are now from the farm, all the farmers, especially in Kisii and Nyamira, all the 140,000 plus farmers, all our factories are Rainforest Alliance certified. That means that we are conscious about the environment, and this Rainforest Alliance is an international accreditation to ensure that our farming is sustainable. It is the research has shown that if we don't mitigate, by 2050, we will not be in farming because we shall be having drought. But with the mitigation we've done, with the 14 factories are certified, even the entire KTDA 71 factories are certified RA, meaning we are safe, environment is safe, and it will be sustainable.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And maybe if you can tell us, you've said that we have 14 companies here in Kisii. Maybe is it that 7 in Nyamira and 7 Kisii, or it doesn't go halfway?
It doesn't go halfway. We have 7 factories. That is 7 years in Nyamira, and we have 6 in Kisii. Sometimes I got a question here whether Sombogo is in Nyamira or is in Kisii. It is in Gusii. It is administratively in Kisii, administratively in Nyamira, but by location is in Kisii. But with us, the T has no boundaries. All the factories are in Gusii. Thank you.
All right, maybe Mr. Chairman, for this year's preparation comparing to the past years whereby we also have been having the shows, is there any improvement or is there anything that you have done to add, at least to make this year's show to be more successful or to be to impress more people than the past shows? Maybe what have you added to this year's show?
Most of those issues I've told you, they're in the field. There are a lot that we've done in the field and in processing plants. Like in the factories, we now have automated withering machines as opposed to the traditional troughs. That is an improvement. We have many others in our factories. We are using waste as the briquettes. We are using other alternatives to ensure that we don't deplete the environment. We also have started one of the hydros in one of our catchments near Itumbe Tea Factory to do hydro, which is green energy. And the less we use from Kenya Power, which uses Kengen, it means we are emitting less gases to the environment, and we are still in the process to start another. So there are several, and we thank God first that we survived COVID, and it has taken quite a while since 2019. That's why we have come with whatever we've done between this period to enlighten our farmers what we've done to ensure that they get money in their pockets, which will ensure that they get sustained in this business. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like you to take us through maybe the entire process of the tea leaves, right from the farmer and to the inside the factory now until we get the final product. But maybe before you take us through, Mr. Chairman, maybe your assistants are here, if they can speak a word each, maybe if they're around, those whom you work with.
Yeah, there are quite a number. If there's somebody, I think there's my brother who is next here.
Yes, sir.
If there's anything I've left out, you can add.
Yes, thank you. In the tea business, we are actually empowering our people, and we are empowering the people, mkulima ule mdogo, the small farmer. We KTD actually, we serve small-scale farmers. People have got a quarter an acre, half an acre, and maybe up to 5 acres, but we are adding value. Regardless of the size of the farms, we as KTDA, we are really working hard to ensure that we have added value in our tea products, and in return, the farmers will smile all the way to the banks. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe Mr. Chairman, if you can take us through right from the farm, the entire procedure, if we can get to know maybe to our viewers or somebody who has no education now, maybe these tea leaves come into a final product, maybe where they start from the farm and to the factory until now the entire process until we get maybe the final product. Kindly, if you can take us through, if you can start from the farm, because I see you've really done a lot.
Start from the other end.
Okay, from the far end.
Yes.
Because I can see if you compare with other people the kind of preparation you have today here, Mr. Chairman, it is quite impressive when you compare with other people, and really it shows that you had spent a lot. I've been wondering maybe at what time did you start preparing? Maybe 2 days ago, 1 week ago, because it really seems to be very prepared here.
Yeah, it's well prepared because in KTDA we believe, and we are very thorough in our work. We take every business serious, whatever we do. That is our culture. So we've been here not for long, so for a few weeks, about 2-3 weeks. But you can see, ukiviona vyaelea, ujue vimeundwa. And this is the team that has taken their time to ensure that we showcase to the world what good work we do here. So from the other end, I'll start
yeah, you just come this way, no problem. You have the audio being catered for.
Where we prepare our site.
Yes.
And these are the sites. You select the site, the right size.
Yes, sir.
Site. We are saying you avoid where you do the charcoal, you avoid the bomber sites, and you choose the right place. And if you are the tree stumps, you remove them and you allow them to rot so that you don't transfer the diseases to the tea bushes later in life. So once you've chosen the site, then you do the nursery.
You now move into the nursery. All right.
Yeah, this is the nursery. And first we have the mother bush. The mother bush is the one that produces what we have in the nursery. And this is how it looks like. You get a cutting, and you ensure that you sterilize the cutting because it would be having some diseases or something. Sterilization, I think you are aware what that is.
Yeah, sure.
Once you sterilize, then you put it in a paper. There is can I have the biodegradable? Yeah, that one. This is the paper you have, and this is what I said is biodegradable. It's environmental friendly. You fill the soils, then you put it there. Then you have prepared your nursery, you arrange them there, and then you have them covered with this. And we have extension assistants who ensure that this is done. And maybe by 1 minute, can you mention what activity does here?
Here we train our farmers on how to do nurseries. One nursery is expected to hold 1,200 sleeves. It is 1 meter by 3 meters length. We use biodegradable sleeves and a UV shade light net instead of good materials that are expensive. It takes 10 to 12 months to mature and taken to the farm. We use Dithen M45 to control the fungal attack in the nursery. Once in the nursery, before we place a cutting, we ensure that we put a lot of water and we place it. We cover it with a polythene sheeting, gauge 500. That is the recommended gauge for the nursery. It takes 10 to 12 months before we transfer it to the farm.
All right, maybe if you can tell us during the time it is at the nursery, what are some of the things that you do? Maybe irrigation. Do you irrigate daily or weekly because you know it's in the nursery, you've said, or maybe even during the rainy season because you don't have any opaque shade here. So do you mean like now when you have it in the nursery, you do irrigate maybe after how long? Is it weekly or daily? How do you do irrigation maybe for it to be in a well conducive environment to mature?
There are a lot of practices that we do in the nursery. As I have indicated, before you place the cuttings, you will water the sleeves. After watering, to ensure that it is indeed wet, we cover it with a 500 gauge polythene sheeting to ensure that there is a greenhouse environment. The conducive humidity, the conducive temperature that is in the nursery will ensure that shoots develop and the roots develop. We will do that for the first 21 days. We will not water. That is why we ensure that we have a lot of water in the nursery. So we open it up after 21 days, we water, and then we again cover. We also remove weeds that will have germinated in the nursery. We check on if there are any attacks of pests, though they are quite minimal. We do not use any chemical during that process. And after the 21 days, we will water after every 2 weeks. After 3 months, we will start hardening off. Hardening off is that process that acclimatizes the seedling to harden off before we take it to the field. We will do it by opening up to this level, some bits, and then we open it up to this level. By the time it is 6 months, we shall remove the polythene sheeting so that it grows. Now, this covering has a gauge or a percentage. These shade nets are of various percentages. We begin with 90%. That controls the amount of light and amount of heat that goes into the bed. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Then after 10 months, we have we have a ready seedling. So next we move in the farm now.
Yes.
All right, now let's move down the farm, Mr. Chairman. I can see if you don't have knowledge, then you will end up having nothing.
Very true.
Now to the farm. What's the next thing now we do?
Now when we are in the farm, we want to know what this man does with the tea that is now ready, seedlings that are ready from the nursery, and they will take us briefly through.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we are in the farm. We are from the greenhouse. We are now on to the farm. Okay, now welcome. Maybe you tell us first your name, then we proceed.
My name is Lame Karia. I'm agriculture officer at KTDA, and I want to do a demonstration of how we transfer the seedlings from the nursery to our farms. The first thing in the farm is to ensure that where you are planting the tree, the farm is good. It is not in a marshy area, it is not in a rocky area, it is in a well-drained soil with good texture. The first thing is to prepare the holes, whereby we do a spacing of 4 feet between the rows and 2.5 feet between the two plants. You prepare the hole at a size of 9 inches deep, whereby you subdivide the topsoil and the subsoil. You put the topsoil first, then you put down your seedling, then you cover with the subsoil. From there, you ensure that all the seeds are well covered in the farm, so that you have enough density to cover your farm. So this is where we are demonstrating that, whereby our farmers, they are able to learn from our technical people on how to transplant the seedlings from the nursery to their farms.
All right, maybe you've said that you have to prepare your farm well. Do you use fertilizers the same time when you plant, or maybe you just plant them, then you come to put the fertilizer after, or you put the fertilizer first? Which one comes first, or they go at a go?
When we are transferring the seedlings, we mix the soils with a teaspoon full of DAP fertilizer, whereby you mix well with the soil before you plant. That's where the time that you apply the fertilizer.
All right, so you just apply the fertilizer to the hole, not just the entire farm. You apply the fertilizer.
No, to the hole where you are planting the seedling.
All right, maybe after how long will the seedlings take to to mature? Maybe you can now stop irrigating and they can depend on themselves.
From the time of the transferring the seedlings, they take about 3 years to be fully matured.
3 years.
3 years to be fully matured. Now you can start harvesting.
All right, now this is the first step. We've put it in the soil, we planted. Maybe after 3 years, how does it look? Like this one or the other one's up at the upper side?
Yes.
All right, let's now move after 3 years. After 3 years now it has matured and it is dependable on its own. This is how it looks like.
So now after 3 years, this is how now the bushes will be like. We establish them through tipping and giving them time to sprout, so that they can have enough shoots, whereby now from the shoots, that's when you start now plucking 2 leaves and a bud, like you can see here. Now this bush already has some ready leaves that you can be able to pluck, like this one, there are 2 leaves and a bud. Now you start plucking from at this level, at 16 inches, you can be able now to harvest your 2 leaves and a bud.
So you've said already after 3 years we can now start our harvest. After 3 years, okay. And maybe after 3 years, is there any maybe top dressing, or now our plants are on their own, they are dependent on themselves?
Okay, after 3 years, now you are supposed now to start top dressing, so that you can be able to replenish the nutrients that the plants are taking from the soils, whereby we use the NPK fertilizer 2555. We have a sample there, whereby you 700 bushes, you use 50 kgs of fertilizer. That is 1 bag of 50 kgs fertilizer.
All right, and maybe if you can tell us during the back times when people used to harvest manually using their hands, and nowadays that we have the machines, between the two scenarios, which scenario do you think that once you pick the one or maybe you harvest, then it comes maybe to refresh again in a very short while? Is it the time that they were picking their hands. How long does it take so that they come to harvest again? Or maybe during the machines, when the machines harvest, how long does it take for another harvest again?
Our plucking routes days from 7 days to 8 days.
While using the machine now?
Using the machine or using the hard plucking. It depends on the level that you start with using the machine, whereby if you prepare the level well, every 7 to 8 days you'll be able to harvest back.
Wow. So at least each and every week somebody will be just harvesting?
Every week you should be back to your farm and you get enough crop for the day.
All right, now that we have started harvesting, where is our next level? Do you move the factories now or where do we head to?
I'll take you to, we have where we have the cultivars. Today you are going to be scientists. You'll know what's a cultivar.
Yeah, sure.
How many they are and why they are. So I'll give you the expert who interacts with all the cultivars, and they'll be able to tell you why that, because this is where we get the material for the nursery, and they'll be able to show you how many times. So take it away.
Oh, no, just a minute before Mr. Chairman leaves. So you mean that at the level of 3 years, we've started harvesting, we don't take the cultivar from there?
Where we were the nursery, I showed you the mother bush.
Yes.
Now there are many mother bushes.
All right.
He'll tell you how many and why, and not seedlings and why cultivars. He's the expert.
All right.
He'll be able to answer all those things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Okay, maybe you are welcome. You can tell us first your name, and then you start telling us. Also, you can start also taking us through the cultivar. I've heard there are various mother bushes. So today we're going to learn from here now. I personally now today am a learner. Okay, welcome. What's your name?
I'm Mr. Paul Layemba. I'm a research scientist. I work with the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, Tree Research Institute, based in Kericho. As Mr. Chairman alluded to, that in the initial phases, when you want to establish nursery, first what you do and what we collaborate with our agricultural extension officers is first to identify where the farmer comes from. Because most of this cultivar will tend to perform in different agroecological zones differently. And when I mean perform, it means that we go for the economic traits, that is yield and quality. So there is those variation depending with where the farmer is located as far as agricultural ecological zones are concerned. There is that interaction between a cultivar or a variety with the environment that will dictate how it performs in that particular environment. And because most of our farmers are in this for business, therefore it's very important that when they come to us and also the extension officer, we know where they are coming from so that we can do what we call cultivar site matching, so that they can meet their objective in terms of profit maximization by virtue of choosing the right cultivar. Cultivar is basically a constriction of the word cultivated variety. We are trying to move away from what we used to call clones. And as a Tea Research Institute, as an organization mandated to support the tea subsector industry in terms of technology, so up to date we have developed around 58 cultivar meant for different agroecological zone and also meant to process different product. And as Mr. Chairman will mention maybe earlier, is that currently most of the factory are trying to diversify away from the CTC, that is cut, tear and curl kind of tea, and they are moving to what we call the orthodox teas. And in order to diversify, then one thing must happen. You require first to have technology, and technology in the sense that you require the right cultivar to process the right product for the right market. Sure. Absolutely. And that's what we are doing as the Research Institute, so that we can support KTDA and other players, other actors within the tea industry. So far, ahead of you, we have several cultivar. One of them, the current one, the latest technology in terms of cultivar is 895-17. These are the latest, and they are meant purposely to process specialty tea. Like this that is in front of you is very suitable for white tea and also for green orthodox. One thing that I must mention is that the specialty tea is whereby you deal with small volume but high value product. So you realize that what we are currently doing with the CTC, they are high volume but low value. So we are trying to diversify so that we can create also a niche in that market, and that will be to the benefit of the farmers in terms of sustainability of their livelihood.
So this is cultivar KTR what 89517.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Then we
Yeah.
have another one, TRFK 597-1 with the attributes. You can see it's a low caffeine,
Yeah.
because some people don't take tea because of caffeine. There have been that issue. So we are trying to also to develop some of the cultivar that can provide low caffeine. And in terms of maybe mitigating farmers so that we can cushion farmers against co-evolving environmental factor that is very prominent due to climate change, you realize that we also face it from the breeding side, breeding perspective, whereby we develop cultivars that can withstand things like drought, frost, which are very common. These are risk and uncertainty associated with production. So in order to cushion those farmers, we also develop those kind of cultivars, because these are controlled by genes. These traits are controlled by genes. So you can manipulate the genes and come with a cultivar that can cushion the farmers. In terms of yield potential, you can see it's very high yielding, and most of our cultivars that we are developing currently, what happens is that they must, one of the standard yardstick is that they must surpass the initial cultivar, the initial materials that the farmer used to grow by around 30 to 50% in terms of yield. And in terms of quality, they also must surpass our control clone for quality, that is 6.8, which is known to be having a lot of total polyphenols, up to 25% total polyphenols. So those that surpasses those controls in terms of those attributes, then they are released to the farmers for commercialization. And we also have another one, 303577, which is a very good one for yellow tea.
Yellow tea now, this one.
Yeah, this is good for yellow tea.
And then maybe by the end of the it you will tell us which kind of cultivar is favorable here in our Nyanza region.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now this one for yellow tea. Yellow tea. Do we take yellow tea in Kenya?
Absolutely, it's just through sensitization, then farmers will start taking. It's just like purple. We introduced purple, but through sensitization, like in forum like this one, you'll realize that the uptake is going up, and farmers are embracing the technology, and people are taking it up, because tea generally is a medicinal beverage. It's the second most consumed beverage after water. So we want to inculcate that culture, so that to the benefit of our farmers. So during the inculcation of that culture, there is taste and preference by the consumers. So that's why there is need for diversification, so that you can meet the taste and preference of each and every consumer. And that will be to the benefit of the downstream, which is the farmer.
All right. The next one I see is cultivar KTR 914/11.
Absolutely.
And maybe which region or which part of Kenya is this one most favorable, the cultivar KTR 914/11?
This is more favorable in this region. What we are demonstrating in every show that we go with the cultivars for those regions. So whatever we are exhibiting here today, they are meant for this region.
Oh, they are favorable. All of them, they are favorable in Nyanza.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So that's why we come with the cultivar specifically for this reason. Because before we release a cultivar, it's important also to mention at this point is that we usually do what we call clonal adaptability trial, whereby you do these trials in all the 18 tea growing counties, representative of those counties, because we look at the aspect of the endaphic, that is soil, and also the climatological of those areas. And that will give us a prescription, so that when the farmer comes, it's not a recommendation. It's a specific recommendation for specific area, because these farmers are in this business to make money. Yeah, and sure. You have also to support them so that they can be sustainable in terms of their livelihood.
Wow, absolutely. Maybe which one is next? Or these are the cultivars that we have so far?
Yeah, these are most of them. Some we had also placed there as mother bush exhibits.
So far the 4 cultivars are favorable here in our Nyanza region, plus the one that is the mother bush, more than 4.
There are more than 4, because we also have 91439.
Yeah.
That my colleague used to demonstrate the bring it into bearing. It's also favorable to this place. That is 91428. Then we have 8957 with us. Yeah, all of them are favorable.
All right. Yeah, you've mentioned the various teas. I've heard of yellow tea. I personally have never taken yellow tea. Maybe Mr. Chairman will show us how the yellow tea looks like thereafter. Maybe what is our next move, Mr. Chairman? Now that we are off the farm, we have seen the various cultivars that are favorable in our region. After 3 years, the farmers have started harvesting. Now from the farm, where do we go next?
We have plucked. Let's follow the leaf. to the factory.
All right. Maybe on your right side here, I see some factories. Yeah, these ones are located in our region, the Kisii County and maybe the Nyamira County.
Yes, these are the factories, and this is a representative of how the factories are spread in Nyamira and the Kisii. And this is the actual positioning, and we have 14 of them. You can see the names. What is important to mention is that these factories are all Rainforest Alliance certified, which means that they are certified, that they have taken necessary measures to ensure that the environment is sustained. They are all food safety management system certified, which is the most current that they can be taken anywhere in the world. And these are international standards and the quality management systems certified. And also to mention, we have the Nyakwana hydropower. We told you we have power, our own, which we are using currently in 4 factories, and in the process to connect more factories to our own hydropower. Thank you.
All right, so now that I can see that there is zone 10 on a certain board up here, zone 11. Maybe which criteria do you use to name the zones, zone 10, zone 11?
Oh, thank you. You are wondering why not zone 1?
Yeah, true.
In KTDA we have 12 zones, and they are numbered right from the proximity to Nairobi, and they have come all the way. We have zone 1 near Nairobi, and 2 is in Murang'a, 3 is in Kirinyaga, 4 is in Meru, 5 is those are regions, But now there are regions that have more zones. Like now region 5 has 2 zones, 8 and 9. Region 6, which is Kisii, has 2 zones, 10 and 11, and the 12 is Nandi.
All right. Yes. Now maybe from here we go now inside the factory itself.
Let's follow the leaf.
All right, let's go. Today I've really learned a lot today. I hope also our viewers you are learning more right from the farm. And now we have entered the factory itself. So where do we begin now that we have the leaves?
In the factory we collect the leaf from the field.
Yes.
The truck, I think you saw a truck out there.
Sure.
Which is well aerated, and we weigh our leaf.
Oh, the weighing machine, or do you have maybe? I've seen those weighing machines, the analog ones. Nowadays we have the digital machines. Maybe what came into your mind that pushed you maybe to invent the new digital machines? Is it maybe they were saving time, or what convinced you to make new weighing machines?
The old machine, the weighing scale, was not accurate. One, it was not tamper proof. It could be tampered, and there was very low confidence from the farmer because they felt that it was manipulatable. With the digital one, there is nobody who touches this. It's a communication Bluetooth, through Bluetooth, and we are going to demonstrate that the farmer is confident because first you test and ensure that the scale is accurate. Then you are able to take the weights without touching the machine or anything. And 2, we also use the constant weight bag, which is constant at 0.5, but whichever the weather, whether rain or sunshine. So that one gives confidence and ensures that the farmer gets all the weights necessary.
All right. Yes. So maybe from here we start now from who will take us through maybe the entire process of weighing. We start weighing now our leaves. We already have the leaves from the farm, and then we will find out what happened next after we've weighed our leaves.
Yes, we'll have a demonstration.
Yeah.
Yes, take it away.
This madam here.
Cecilia.
All right. Welcome, Madam Cecilia. Maybe you can tell us now that Mr. Chairman has given us the leaves. You have the leaves from the farm. And the truck, now we are in the entrance. Maybe what follows?
At the buying center, we have farmers have their cards. This one we use for during weighment. Once the farmer produce the card, we just swap with the PDA. But before that, there's a farmer called test farmer. This test farmer makes sure that our scale is okay. I'll show you.
So initially, now that there is nothing is being weighed, is the scale 0.00 or how does it come? Is it 10?
It is 0.
It comes 0.00 when nothing is being weighed.
Yeah. So once in the buying center, there is this test weight. So we weigh this test weight using the test farmer, which is this one. So we just swap, and the farmer appears. Then now we capture the weight. So now we've captured. It's now saying remove the bag.
So what's the weight of the bag itself when it is empty?
It's around 2.5.
2.5 grams. Oh, that's not much. All right. Okay, now that just to hold on before you move, you said there is a card that the farmers have.
Yes.
So you have to verify using this machine.
Yeah.
Do you mean there are some farmers who can fake some cards so that they can come maybe to weigh?
No, they can't.
So
Because we issue the cards.
Uh-huh. So it can't be verified if it's not original, if you are not issued.
We verify it through the
Yeah,
machine. Yes.
All right. Now what's next?
So next,
Also, maybe to add,
Yeah.
this is a data bank
Yes,
which we
sir.
all have, and it is us who feed.
All
so
right.
your card will not.
It can't reflect there.
cannot reflect.
All right. Wow.
once we remove the back,
Uh-huh.
so we remove the back. It will now accept the weight.
Yeah,
After-
I see now it's 0. There is nothing.
Yeah, so we accept the weight and then we submit. Yeah, it's now submitting. Now it's saying print. We print.
All right.
Yeah.
Today you are seeing things practical here.
So there is a communication from the scale, the BDA, and the printer.
All right. So the first communication should come from the scale. Then it comes to the
It comes from
machine.
the machine. This one.
Yeah, then
to
it
the-
goes now for you to print the receipt
Yeah.
for the farmer.
Yes.
All right, now we get it. Now, after we have weighed, what is next? Now that we've received our receipt, maybe as per now, as you can say, package. If you don't mind, can you tell us how much is package?
As in,
The payment, maybe we've found, we've got maybe package. If you can tell us, just to encourage some farmers to start, farming the tea leaves, maybe.
for the month it's 20 bob per kg.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. All right, now that we've weighed, what is our next? Now that we have the receipt, we've weighed, we have the receipt. Now what do we do next, Mr. Chairman?
I want to add that 20 shillings is not all. And there's later what comes, what is very popular with the people, they call it bonus.
The bonus,
But it's never
true.
bonus is a second payment. But the
So,
initial, then there is a second one, which is final.
All
Then
right.
if you want to know the value of that leave, is the initial plus the second.
All right. So the bonuses, people love them. I normally hear people saying, "No, yeah, we receiving the bonus."
Yeah.
All right.
Now, like now you can have just move this slightly. To show the productions.
Yeah, the previous years up to now, if there's an improvement, maybe, or if there is a decrease in it, we'll just find out. We have the Sanganye Tea Factory, the first one I see.
Yeah, we have Sanganye, we have Kebirigo. Those are this one. I want you to move this.
All right, so that we can have
you can see the yes, thank you.
the current figures we have.
These are for the past 5 years. The productions, and they are in kilos. This is the kilos of green leaf. You can see the productions like last year, 21-22. Our year starts in July and ends in June. Those are the productions for the past 5 years.
So we can see that there's a slight improvement. We see being put together the Sombogo Tea Factory. So each and every factory produces their own quantity.
Their own quantity.
I now see.
Now that leaf that we have weighed, then we wanted to give it to the manager in the factory. And he tells us what he does with the green leaf.
Oh yes, the lorry is there. I can see the lorry. The lorry is already here, the tea leaves.
We got the lorry here. Here we got the factory now. This is the factory. We have the CTC processing. This is the normal line we have been having around. But we have come up with a new system. We call it orthodox teas, specialty teas. This tea is the difference with the CTC teas. We do roaring process. And for the roaring, you can see the teas come through these machines, the normal withering system, but we have changed it to automated withering system. Once the teas is ready for processing, we go to the roaring process. The CTC, you can see it is cut, tear and car. This is what we refer to as CTC. For orthodox, once you roll it like this, you will now take it through the process of drying, and you can see now the end product. Very well twisted rolled teas. These teas you see here sells for 4.7 USD. A very good price compared to what we have been having for CTC teas, which sells around 2.5 USD. So this is a very good, there's a new innovation we have done in KTDA, coming up with diversification, making teas which even sells double the price of the normal CTC teas, and it is really giving a lot of income to the farmer. You can see now this is double the price of CTC. And the beauty of these teas, it is also beneficial health-wise. These teas, you don't put sugar, you don't put milk. You just take it like it is. And it is very, very beneficial. It can prevent aging, prevent memory loss. It's very good even for consumption.
So how do you call that tea that has no milk, it has no sugar?
You don't add sugar when you're taking, you don't add milk. These teas, we call it orthodox teas. Like this was one we calling OP1. Yes. So this is the beauty of it. You can see another aspect you realize in our system. We are trying to use cleaner production, the boiler system. We are using briquettes so that we make sure we don't use a lot of firewood. That is cutting down trees. There's a lot of preheating system we have put here, meaning instead of giving out this exhaust air from the chimney, it is used to heat incoming cool air. So you save a lot on energy. Yes. So these are some of the innovation we have in KTDA, and this is the most, this is the one that have brought a lot of impact. For like one of the factories in this region, we have Matunwa Tea Factory, making a lot of money for the farmer at Ditumbe because of this diversification. So this is one of the special products the KTD has come up with, and we are seeing that the farmer is going to benefit a lot. Yes.
Many more factories are coming on board because that is the way to go.
All right.
Now he has made the tea. I want him to tell us where does he take that tea.
Yes. All right. Tell us your name, then you proceed.
Yeah, my name is Philip Ombati Maina, Factory Unit Manager, Berega Tea Factory. Once we are on in processing, as my colleague has said, that we process tea. And you know the quantities of teas that we process in a day, it varies from day to day depending on how the farmers are packed. For us to ensure that we have got a very consistent and a quality, a final product that is made tea, which we will deliver to our buyers, to our consumers in Kenya and abroad, we do hourly tea quality analysis in an office known as the Quality Control Office. What we do there on an hourly basis, we take samples of the teas we are manufacturing, we bring them, we infuse 5 grams of each grade, and then we test. It is called organoleptic testing because it's done by humans, it's not done by machine. However, in KTDA, we are actually exploring coming in with a tea testing machine. That's what we are actually in the verge of making. Yes. Then after that, after we have tested teas on hourly, we are able to detect any lapse in manufacture, in quality that is, and we rectify. And by doing so on an hourly basis, we are assured that we'll be making a quality products. That's why you see the KTDA teas, for all the years, they are the best teas in the market. It's because of the managers who process, who manufacture these teas. They are actually well experienced, well trained all around. They ensure that they deliver quality made tea to the buyers and to the market. Then after that,
Now, just to hold on before you proceed, I can see the different grades here. Maybe you can tell us which one is grade 1, grade 2, and how do you come, in maybe dividing these grades? Which kind of criteria do you use to categorize these grades?
yes, let my brother, these are specialty teas actually, these are orthodox teas,
Right.
and they are being done in Matunwa and Itumbe.
Itumbe.
Even though Eberege is also on the process of coming up with the plant. Let him tell us how they does the grading.
All right.
So for these teas, what we are having here, we grade these teas according to size. In orthodox teas, we do refer to as the twist and also the style of rolling. You can see the type of teas here, they look more of a twisted kind of a product. Once you put water, these teas in water, it opens up and you get it as a whole leaf. And that is the beauty of orthodox. And that is what makes it special. Yeah. So this, we have it twisted. This is what we call OPA. This is what we call FOP, or flowery orange peco. This is what we call OP1. These are one of the highest selling. Yeah, the prices are good because in orthodox, the specialty teas you look at the wholesomeness of the leaf. Once you put in water, it does open up. So the wholesomeness of the leaf, this is what is giving you the price, and also the aspect of the liquor. When you drink that cup, you even feel something in your body. Yeah, some good moment, refreshment. This is the beauty of the orthodox teas. This one we call it peco. The style is naughty. We refer to as naughty, something which is naughty. These are the ones we have in the smallest sizes. We have what we call FOF, FBOPF. These one are not, but they are not good in terms of price. But from here, at times this goes for you 5 USD. Yeah, 5 USD. You know that is around how much Kenya shilling? 700. Yes. And this is happening in Kisii. You are even able to get better prices than what we had in the east of Rift.
Wow.
For some cities. So this is the way we are. Yes.
I hear some rumors that in Kenya we don't buy grade 1. Maybe grade 1 is being exported. How true is it, Mr. Chairman?
That is not true, and that's why the show is good to demystify some of those ones. We don't have grade 1, grade 2 in tea factories, but we have primary and a secondary. Primary because they have characteristics that classify them as primary. That's the one, it is in Kenya mostly is cities, and that's why I'm explaining that. The only difference in primary, there are 4 of them, and the only difference is size. And the size is from screening. That you start with a mesh that is bigger, you end up with a mesh that is small, you run the tea through, and according to size, if it is smaller than the peak size, it goes through and is stopped at the next screen. But if it's big, it's removed at that level. So what we only have is sizes, and that is the basis for classifying the tea as primary or secondary. Secondary comes from the mainly is fiber and the dust. And the normal our production in KTD is very high. 98% forms the primary.
All right.
And the 2% forms the secondary.
The secondary. Yes. So maybe Mr. Chairman, on the advantages of our viewers, the same maybe tea leaves we purchase in Kenya, is it the same one that is being exported?
Yes, because we don't have 2 productions, it's 1 production. We get the tea from the line, meaning the one that the Mzungu enjoys is the same one that we enjoy back at home.
All right, so that rumors is being dismissed. All right, Mr. Chairman, so maybe after here, where do we go now?
And that is where now I wanted him to tell us,
yes, sir,
when that tea leaves the factory, where does it go until it becomes money?
All right.
Yes.
Now let's get to him. Now we need money. All right, maybe your name, then you proceed.
Yes, my name is Phil Pombati, as I said earlier, the factory unit manager Berege. After we have manufactured those quantities from our various factories, as we said in Nyamira and Kisii, there are 14, and all over the country there are 71 in numbers. They are transported to Mombasa. In Mombasa, KTDA has its own warehouses. These are actually, they have been built by farmers, and they actually they provide storage for their teas, awaiting the selling at the auction. And the excess, all the extra space, they lease it out for money. And at the end of the day, money will be paid back to the farmer in terms of dividends from the warehouses or from the warehouses. And also after selling, and we do our auction in Mombasa, you can see initially we used to do it manually, but these days we are doing it online. As we are here, if the auction is on, we'll be able to see it. And after they have sold, we have got people we have actually contracted to sell the teas for us. They are known as the tea brokers. Every factory has got its own tea brokerage firms. After they have sold, the money is wired into our treasury, that is KTDA treasury, and we are able to pay our farmers on time. Monthly, by 5th we are paid. And then of course, we have got that surplus, which they call bonus. It's actually the surplus. After we have done the business the whole year, we are able to pay them depending on how the business was. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We have seen so sometimes also the tea leaves us to move from here to Mombasa. It's a very long process indeed. So Mr. Chairman, now that we are done with here, what's our next move? Maybe
now from the auction, I want first to say that the KTDA commands 54% of production in Kenya. So it tells you, as you say, it is big, it is big,
yeah,
it is
sure,
huge.
Sure.
You can see the 54%, it tells you is more than 50 plus 1.
Indeed, agriculture is the backbone of our economic, you know.
And those are other producers. You can see we have Uganda, we have Rwanda, Burundi, and others. And our destinations, the major one is Pakistan. You can see that 9%. We have Egypt 17%, and those are the distributions. So we really depend on the Middle East. And whenever you hear there are issues out there, even if we are not out there, we are affected because those are our markets. So we are farmers for international market. So we are more relied on out there, and those are the countries that we rely. Then once we have sold, this is the money. This is the cake.
Wow.
You can see the cake, and the one at yellow is what was paid last year, 62.888 billion. We are talking in terms of billions here.
Oh my goodness, now we have the cake indeed.
The cake is there, and that's why you can see even from the previous year, it was from 2021, it was 44 billion. 44. There was growth from 44 to
very huge growth.
Billion, and that is the distribution. You're able to see the billions. That's one. The one we call initial is the 20 shillings, and we say the second. Then you have a total. Like of the 62 billion, 25 billion was initial pay, the one of 20 shillings per kilo, and then later there was 37 billion, which totaled to 62 billion.
Wow. So the second payment is what they call the bonus out here.
Yes.
Wow, very nice.
From there, once we get the money, the farmer is happy, and they is able now to invest. We call it vertical investment along the chain, which will help cushion the costs here. Because when we talk of the cake, every price at the auction, 73.53 goes to the farmer, and the other 27 is eaten by the cost of investment. That is the labor, the oil, the electricity, the fuel wood,
leaf collection.
So we normally mitigate this by investing along the chain to cut on this cost to increase on what goes back to the farmer. And the first one, electricity, is one of the major costs, and that's why KTDA has hydropower, and it's called KTDA Power Companies. And one of them we have is here in Kisii. We have Nyakwana Power Company. We have Nyambunde. Nyakwana is already in production, and they're supplying power to Ogembo, to Itumbe, Kiamokama, and the Nyankoba tea factories.
So basically, this kind of power production is for your companies only?
It's for our companies only, and it helps mitigate the cost of electricity.
Wow.
Still leveraging on numbers, we have our own brokerage firm called Majan Insurance. because of numbers. You can see, like now the trucks we have, every factory has an average of 10 trucks. We are 71. We are talking about 1,000 trucks. Wow. Collecting from the field, we have about 400 tippers, we have about 400 tractors, we have machineries. Now instead of going directly with our own Machan insurance, we're able to negotiate low rates, and which helps the farmer to cushion on the insurances, because the insurance is a statutory requirement. We also have Kinga ya Mkulima, that there is insurance for the farmer, which is also very important. We also have TEMEC. We do fabrication of our machineries with one of our subsidiaries called T Machinery Company, which is in Nairobi, and that is what is able to do a lot of what we consume in the factory. Another one is Greenland Feather, which we also we loan. Farmers take money at 8% interest rate, the lowest I think in Kenya, and I'm even not sure in the world. 80% is very low,
yeah,
but the farmers are able to enjoy that, the courtesy of the reforms. Then once we've done that, we also have Chai Sacco. Chai Sacco has a very important product, and somebody can take it away and briefly tell us, what do you do?
Yes. At the Chai Sacco first.
Yes.
All right, let's get into Chai Sacco and get to know what is done here. Maybe firstly you can tell us your name, then you can just proceed.
Yes, my name is Wilson Kajuki. At Chai Sacco, what we do is actually processing of farmer salaries, and then besides doing that, we are the cheapest in terms of service charge. We charge our farmers very little money when it comes to processing their salaries and also doing their withdraw. Then we also go ahead and provide farmers with the savings and the loans product. We usually tell farmers it is important that you do savings, a portion of your income, so that when maybe you've subdivided your farm, you also have something to go for, just like employing the people who save through provident funds and through NSSF, so that again farmers doesn't live a very miserable life after maybe the land has been given to children. Then we also have loan products for farmers, because we want them also to develop, to grow. You realize that farmers' income is a bit minimal, a bit small, so they also need loans so that they are able to do projects. And we have both the long-term and short-term loans. We have a loan called Chai Farmer, which runs for 5 years with a multiplier of 25, interest of 1%. We have also undiversified. We also want farmers to have income from various streams rather than only relying on tea. There are times when tea production is a bit low and they also need income to run their own projects. So we also fund other activities like kilimo, like mifugo. So we have a loan for them so that they are able to diversify. The most recent one is Chai Farmer Advance, which we realized, just as Chairman has indicated earlier, the quality of tea is what brings in more money. And for us to have that quality tea, the harvesting must be done after every 7 days. You realize that farmers strain out of income, and you realize that what happens usually is that they don't have money to do the harvesting on time. So we've found it necessary that farmers should not do strain, and that's why we have introduced a loan called Chai Farmer Advance, which a farmer can access money after changes have been delivered. After tea has been delivered to the buying center, we are able to give with a certain multiplier, and that money is immediately comes into M-Pesa pockets, and the farmer can be able to withdraw. If there are people in the farm, he is able to pay at that particular day.
All right, my eyes just spotted the golden loan, and you know, when somebody hears gold, he or she thinks it's something big. So okay, maybe if you can clarify what is the difference or the advantage of the golden loan that I've seen here.
Okay, thank you. In a SACCO setup, usually we give loans for farmers. We give depending on their tea process. But again, because we are open to KTND employees, government employees, we give based on what you have saved. with a multiplier of 4, with a multiplier of 5. You realize there are new members who join the circle and their savings are not that much. They want huge amount of money, but their savings is very little, yet their salary can accommodate, I mean their payslip can accommodate a bigger amount of what? Loan. So when such cases arise, what we give a member is golden loan. If their payslip is able to accommodate a big loan, which does not fit within the multiplier of 3 or a multiplier of 4, then we give golden loan. Yes, in Kisii, we are located in Kwanza Place, second floor. We also have another office in Nyamira, that is Amboseli Plaza, first floor.
Wow, thank you very much for taking us through. I've seen here and also learnt a lot. Now back to Mr. Chairman. Yes. Where do we head to now? Or now we can leave?
After we've done everything,
yes, sir,
we are good in giving back to society. And that is KTDA Foundation. We do a lot, and she'll give you the caption briefly of what we do back to society, because you can do business, but you take care of those around you. Take it away.
All right, now I can see there's a madam here. Maybe I can come to the upper side. She can tell us her name, then proceed.
My name is Alice Chalo. I am the project officer for KTDA Foundation based in the west of Rift. That is basically all the factories on this side: Kericho, Nyamira, Bomet, Kisii, and the other counties that are dealing with tea. So KTDA Foundation is the corporate social responsibility arm of KTDA Holdings, where we do activities and projects on behalf of KTDA Holdings and its various subsidiaries. And we do our projects through 4 pillars, 4 thematic areas: health, economic empowerment, environmental sustainability, and economic empowerment. Yeah, so we do in those 4 thematic areas, and our projects are geared towards being sustainable and bringing sustainability to the tea community, to the small scale tea farmer. And we teach our farmers on income diversification. We teach them on conserving the environment. We educate the students. And also we also give them interventions in terms of health and also financial interventions by training them. And we work with all the factories across the country in our 71 factories. And through this, we've been able to do very many projects. We've been able to plant more than 3 million trees across the country. We've also been able to sponsor over 1,000 students to secondary schools with a transition rate of 84%. We've also been able to reach over 1 million farmers with behavior change communication messages on nutrition, and also train around almost 200,000 farmers on financial literacy, and also given them some of them grants through they go through training, they write a business proposal, and then they're given grants through our various projects that we do. And our projects, we do them in collaboration with organizations, international organizations, local governments, and also our tea buyers are also part of our donor profile. So that's basically what we do at KTDA Foundation.
All right, maybe if you can tell us, under this foundation, you've said you do sponsor some students. How do you select these students? Is it that these children must be, the kids of the farmers, or how do you come to select them?
So our selection criteria is the students have to be from within the tea growing area. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the children have to be children of farmers, because we understand in the tea community there are so many people. There are tea farmers and non-tea farmers. There are pluckers. There are other people within that community. So the criteria is the student has to have scored 350 and above, must be from a needy background, have gone to a school within that catchment area of that factory catchment area, and the forms are submitted to the factory for selection. So there's a criteria we even share also with the factory management and the boards, and they select the students based on that criteria that they've been given from the foundation.
Wow, thank you very much, madam. So indeed it's a support for the whole community. It is not just maybe basically on the children of the farmers. Now, Mr. Chairman, where do we go next?